What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Triple Threat Analysis. Today, we're going to be talking about Backlash, SmackDown beforehand, Raw right afterwards. It's just me, David, and my friend Glenn here today. Glenn, how we feeling?
Hey man, I just came back from both work and the Mets game, and I'm here, and Nick's not. So y'all better give me credit this
Hey,
time. And Nick is the one
I'm
getting,
here too.
and David's
We can,
dead.
yeah, like I'm all messed up. David's here too. But I mean, you know what? At least this pay-per-view, it felt a lot better than WrestleMania. And that's crazy to say that a B tier pay-per-view like a Backlash honestly felt better than WrestleMania as a whole. The matches were good, they were long, we weren't stuffed down our throats with ads. The pay-per-view felt really good. But before we jump into the pay-per-view, I do want to talk about a couple things from SmackDown. First off, let's just jump right into Gunther and Cody. We got another week of them. Gunther tried to get the jump on Cody. Cody kind of, pushed him off, got him away. They had a good little back and forth there. Honestly, one of the better Cody promos I feel like that we've had in a while, just because it showed his true like aggression and just that he was ready to go at any time with a guy even of Gunther's caliber. And at least myself, I assume that this is going to be a Clash in Italy match. I don't think they'll put this at Saturday night's main event. I think this will end up being a Clash in Italy, but how are you feeling about this setup, Glenn?
I do feel this is more like a fill-in type of thing to get you over until the new storyline for SummerSlam. I think it could be a good match. Again, I'm a Gunther guy. I've said that so many times before. I don't mind this being a filler match. It'll be fine. This should bring out like David said, this should bring out the aggression and maybe a different side of Cody, because every pay-per-view and or PLE, whatever you want to call it, you see more and more Cody changing. Now, it's not heel changing, but it's just changing from the super baby face John Cena 2.0 kind of thing. He's getting aggressive. He's getting like, maybe he's hearing some Randy Orton type voice stuff,
Yeah.
kind of thing going on with him. But yeah, it's interesting. There's not really much to say about it until we see the match at hopefully Clash at Italy. Don't waste it at
Yeah.
Saturday's Main Event. I agree with you.
No, I agree. And you know what? It's a match that I feel like a lot of people have been looking forward to for a long time. We saw a little glimpse of it, I believe back at King of the Ring or Clash of Champions a couple of years ago, whatever it was. But this is a match that a lot of people have viewed, a program that a lot of people have been looking forward to for a long time. I am interested in it. Like I've warmed up a lot to Gunther over time. I'm much more on your side, I think, than I am like Nick's side, who is someone who doesn't like Gunther as much. So I am excited for this, and anything different for Cody right now, I think, is a good thing.
Agreed.
But, as long as there's nothing else there, the only other thing that I wanted to speak on SmackDown before we talk about their match at Backlash is basically the main event segment when, they were doing everything with the gingerbread man and the funeral for him and whatnot. And Sami comes out and, starts to crash the party, and Lil Yachty sits up in the gingerbread suit, Undertaker style, right out of the casket, gets his payback on Sami with the kendo stick. And obviously, we're going to talk about the Backlash match. He played a big part there as well. But what do you think about this segment on SmackDown, Glenn?
Honestly, like I've mentioned it multiple times before. I'm an entertainment guy over wrestling guy. And this gingerbread stuff was actually, you would think it's cringe, corny, whatever. I liked it. I liked everything about the gingerbread segments.
Yeah.
I actually was against Little Yachty being there at first, but I think he's kind of better than most. Let's put it
Yeah,
that way.
him and Trick fit together well.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And he is a wrestling fan. I know he's a wrestling fan. We all know he's a
Yeah.
wrestling fan. So that makes it a little bit better. They're throwing the money at Backlash or whatever, the
Yep.
ones or whatever he threw was pretty cool. But yeah, the gingerbread thing was cool. R.I.P. gingerbread, maybe. Maybe it comes
Yeah.
back. I don't know. We'll see. But Danhausen had we saw Danhausen have it backstage as well. The costume at the end of Raw off air. SmackDown. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it was a cool segment. And like
Yeah.
I said,
No.
I'm back on the Sammy wagon as well. No matter what happens, I am back on the wagon.
Yeah, I mean the gingerbread stuff, it was great. I was very entertained by it. I thought all along it's been very good. I do hope that this is the end of Trick and Sammy, but we'll get into their match here in a little bit. Let's just jump right into Backlash. I think we're done talking about SmackDown. So Backlash kicked off with Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins. Obviously, Braun Breaker ended up winning that match. Yeah, I think it was a really good match. It went on for 20 plus minutes. It's exactly what we needed to see out of the two of these guys. Definitely some spots there, and Seth even talked about it in the post show where it's like maybe he's not at the top of his game like he has been for the last 10 years in this company, but still a phenomenal match. I think still a match that we can look back on and be like, these are two guys that have been meaning to fight for a long time, and it looks like they're going to continue to do so following Backlash. But what do you think about the match, Glenn?
I'll keep it simple. Amazing match. They're putting these matches on ESPN too, by the way, and they're doing a
Hmm.
very good job of selling their little subscription. And then after it goes back to the ESPN app, we kind of get the lesser matches. But nonetheless, Braun, Seth, great match, exactly what it needed to be. This is gonna push Braun to another level, and we need that to happen. We need Braun soon with a belt, any belt, just soon. So
Yeah,
props to
we
Seth.
need him.
Any match Seth is in, it's great every time.
Yeah, we need Braun to stay healthy for sure. We need him to have a title around his waist. I mean, and I don't even care if it's the world title at this point. Like, even if they want to go back and just give him a magnificent IC title run, like, then just let him do it.
I
You know what I mean? Let Braun
agree.
just hold the title. Let him do what he needs to do.
Build that resume.
Exactly. And you know what? To leak into Raw a little bit, I mean, appeared a lot more standoffish from the rest of the division with Theory and Logan Paul. He's just starting to feel like he doesn't fit in with those guys as well anymore. And I don't know if it's maybe just the characters that Logan Paul and Austin Theory have kind of gone into while Breaker was gone. But I do feel like they will finally push an actual split of the division at some point here in the future.
Yeah, 100% with you on that.
Cool. Well, we kept that one nice and short so we could move right on to what we were already talking about from SmackDown. Trick Williams retaining his United States Championship against Sami Zayn. Again, I think it was a very good match. It was a lot of what their WrestleMania match was, but they were given 3 times as long to do it. So they had more time, they had more moves, they had more story to tell us within the match. I think they did a really good job of doing it. Lil Yachty getting involved, I mean, trying to chase him down a couple different times and ended up costing himself the match for doing so. Um, what you got to say, Glenn?
A great match. I mean, like
Yeah,
these are two entertainers in that ring, both with wrestling and everything going on. And I love the match. I loved the match. It was a great match. I will say these are the two matches that I liked versus every other match, the other three matches, but we'll get into that. But these two matches were great to start the night. And I was on the same page with you that it was probably looking like probably way better matches than WrestleMania, especially because they were longer than 4 freaking minutes. Um, then it kind of tailed up, but we'll get into that. But this match, great match, the result that needed to happen, just like the first match. Props to TKO or Trips, whoever wrote it, whatever. I loved it. The first two matches were great. Backlash started out like a 9.5 out of 10 for me.
yeah. I mean, this match, Braun versus Seth, they were both really good. They both did their job. They entertained. They got people. They had to bring people over to the ESPN app. I mean, you watch those two matches, those two stories within the ring. If you're not coming over to ESPN, then it's just because you're not a wrestling fan. You're just flat out not watching wrestling for the wrestling or for the stories or for the right reasons in general. But as long as there's nothing else with Trick and Sammy, we can continue to move right along here into after they got off of the ESPN2 and back onto the ESPN app. We had Miz and Kit Wilson versus Danhausen and his mystery opponent. We all made guesses last week on who that mystery opponent was going to be. And I don't think any of us, yeah, I think you said it as a joke at one point, but I don't think any of us predicted that we were going to get
No, I said that
MiniHausen.
it was gonna be like a hornswoggle or midget or
Yeah,
something that like because he has the short people or whatever. And yes, it was as a joke. So I it was just a lucky, throwing something out there.
yeah. But so we ended up getting Danhausen and MiniHausen defeating Miz and Kit after a bunch of shenanigans. The MiniHausen goes back into the box, comes back out, and there's 10 of them again. MiniHausen, for those that don't know, haven't heard in the week since Backlash, almost by the time you'll be listening to this, that's the old El Torito. He's signed in a AAA contract right now. He's been wrestling there for a long time. But we've seen El Torito in WWE before. His WLC match with Hornswoggle was great back in the
Funny as
day.
hell.
You know what I mean? So, like, it's a guy that we know can go in the ring, and he looked really good against Miz and Kit Wilson. He was, he was taking his beatings, but he was making it look good. He was great at selling. But at the same time, I can't help but feel we were a little let down. I feel like the Minihausen thing was great for entertainment purposes, but even a jelly roll in that situation, I feel like just would have made more sense, would have been a better fit for it overall. Because now the Miz and Kit Wilson got beat by Danhausen and Minihausen, and if they're going to continue together, how can they be taken legitimately against anybody?
Yeah, I mean, this was one of the matches where I was like, okay, like there's has. I don't think you need a filler match when there's only 5 matches on the card, but
Yeah,
this was kind of like, all right, like we're already too far in with this. We got to do something here, and it wasn't Punk. It wasn't who everybody else thought it was going to be. It wasn't, like just anything that you
anybody.
kind of want.
Yeah,
I actually said Microman, not Hornswoggle. I said Microman, and
yeah,
then technically this same kind of, And I said that as a joke, thinking that that would be the least good thing to happen, and that's what WWE decides to do. And it's like,
Yeah,
bro. But hey, for what it was, still entertaining. Props for the entertainment factor. But again, not something you're necessarily gonna like. Let's say you had to buy it. Let's say if you had to buy it for $5.99 again to rewatch it, you're not
uh,
paying to watch that match again. So, but
correct.
nonetheless, it was a filler, and it was all right. It was pretty good.
While we're on the topic of Danhausen, I do want to get your opinion on something. I've been reading a lot. We talk about the IWC on this podcast a lot lately. And I've been reading a lot that a lot of people feel that WWE is overdoing Danhausen already. They're kind of shoving him down our throats too much. They're doing too much with him at this point. How do you feel? I know we're both big Danhausen fans. We've been big Danhausen fans, but how do you feel they've been using him so far? Do you think it's too much? Do you think it's just right? What are you thinking?
The perfect rollout of Danhausen since day one. Even when he got booed, perfect rollout for Danhausen. And now you know why that was happening because of what I mean, he's for the adults, he's for the kids, he's for the merch sales. He can go in the ring. No matter what you tell him to do, he can do, and he can do it very well, very entertaining. Doing the thing with Stephen A. Smith on ESPN and doing the things with the Daily Show. I mean, this dude's everywhere, and this is what he does. This is the Danhausen perfect effect. Overdoing it is crazy for anybody to say, in my opinion. And he's not even on the show some of the times. He does it like when it goes to commercial break, and then he does his stuff in the. So how is it too much if he's not even sometimes not even on TV? Like, come
Yeah.
on, man! Like the dude's doing everything the right way. WWE's doing for everything that's going wrong writing wise. This to me is perfect.
No, I agree with you 100%. I couldn't have worded it better myself. I'm not gonna fake act like we disagree about this, just to, whatever. I think it's been great. Like every time I read somebody say there's too much Danhausen or he's getting lame or they don't like him, like I just don't get it. Like Danhausen is the epitome of entertainment. He's come in, yeah, his matches aren't gonna be 5-star matches, you know what I mean? But he's there for his backstage segments, for his entertainment purposes, and that's what Danhausen does. That's what he's been doing, and that's what I think he's done a great job
And
of so
even
far.
though he's not a 5-star wrestler, he could put up a 4-star match. He could put up a three and a
Hmm.
half, 4-star match that can give you a
Absolutely.
nice little like. I mean, he's winning too. They're making
Yeah,
him win. So hey,
yeah,
listen, is what it is.
yeah. But as long as we're done talking about Danhausen and everything going on in that match, we can move on to honestly, as much as I like the first two matches of the night, I feel like this might have been match of the night to me. It's Iyo versus Asuka. It's mentor versus mentee. It's a story that we've been wanting for a long time, and it's just too bad that it felt like it really didn't mean anything with no Kyrie Sane there. But before I get too deep into it, I'll let you kick it off, Glenn. What do you think?
Yeah, this is where we're gonna disagree for sure. I did not like the match. And it's not again, when they're in the ring, me not liking it or me saying it wasn't a good match, it still means it was an 8.5 out of 10 match because they're two of the best wrestlers in the business. So no matter what they do in that ring, it's gonna be a great match. But I didn't like it for multiple reasons. Number one, not many spots. I don't remember many spots. There was a couple good things, but there was not many spots where I'm like I remember 5 spots from the Rhea and Iyo, whatever you guys want me to say. But no, I remember like 5 spots from those matches. This one, I'm not going to remember too much. And again, the whole thing with Kairi Sane going back to Japan, whether she asked to be released or not released, it doesn't matter. The whole thing that Asuka basically retired on Instagram before the match even start, like it just everything was against this match from the beginning because
Yeah,
it's not going to lead to anything after. It was just basically like here's a good wrestling match, and that's all you're going to get because of everything going on. So I guess I kind of went into it with sour grapes, I guess. And I was just like, all right, it's going to be a good match. They're great, but nothing's going to come of it. And nothing is memorable for me. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying with it. I'm kind of just like, with it. I'm not going to remember too much about it.
for sure. And I do understand that. Like I do, I think I definitely just most enjoyed it because it is two of the best performers, wrestlers that we have in the business, maybe had in the business, whatever the case is there. But, I think they still told the story good enough, even without Kyrie there, to be able to lead us through the match. It was a pretty lengthy match. It felt like possibly longest match of the night besides
That was
maybe
the
Roman
best
and
part
Jacob.
that they let it go. That was the best part
Yeah,
for
they
sure.
they
They
gave them
actually
their
gave him
time, and it
props.
was the only women's match of the night. So I feel like they kind of had to let them go because they were obviously going to put on a good match, but it was the only women's match of the whole show. They had to let them really go out there and put on a show. And obviously, I don't have it in my Raw notes, but Io went on to face Soul on Raw. She beat Soul. That was a good match too. Io's going to continue to do Io things. It's just too bad to see Asuka go now because really would have felt good to see her get one more solo run, one more singles run. Obviously she's just another one that was used really good for a short while upon entering WWE and the NXT world, and then just kind of got wasted away and let her talents just sit in the background while other women got opportunities, which isn't always a bad thing, but Asuka could have been right alongside a lot of those women as well.
Top 5 NXT woman of all time, 110%.
She's you can it can be men, women, producers, I don't care. If you're asking me my NXT Mount Rushmore, she's on it. She is the sole woman on my NXT Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
But
she's great there.
yeah, but if there's nothing else there, we move into the main event of Backlash. Roman Reigns retaining his championship against his cousin Jacob Fatu. And again, what felt like a really good match. Like it wasn't great by any means, but it was still pretty good. They did all the hits, they did everything they needed to. And then obviously after the match, we saw Jacob just absolutely destroy Roman once again, like he's been doing on Raw after Raw, just really bringing out that tongue and death grip just every chance he has, which again, kind of like the Danhausen thing, I've been hearing a lot of complaints about that as well. But if they're going to bill it to be this deadly, forceful move that shouldn't even be used against family and this and that, like, let him just use it. Let him run it out. I don't care how much he uses it. If it goes away after Roman, then fine. But again, another really good match. Obviously, the correct outcome. Doesn't appear this is going to be finished anytime soon. So, what are we thinking? How are we feeling?
Again, any match Roman Reigns is in, I'm gonna enjoy. It was a good match. Fatu had some moments, but I never felt that they were gonna give Fatu the belt. Almost, there was just not a single moment, and you need that. Like when it was Finn Balor, the whole like Finn Balor CM Punk thing, where it was right before WrestleMania, and I was like, wow, Finn might actually win this. Never did I have that with Fatu, and you need that. I wanted that. I
Yeah.
wanted them to trick me, and I just didn't happen. So a little disappointed in that, but for what it was, the match was good. There's not a single match on the card that I gave less than a 6 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10. Meanwhile, that's what we
Yeah.
gave entire WrestleMania. So
Right.
again, it was a good pay-per-view, PLE. It was good. Better than WrestleMania in most ways. But again, when you're doing 4 or 5 matches on a PLE pay-per-view now, it's like I still feel gypped. I still
Yeah.
feel gypped.
100%.
And there was just so much more that could have happened, but I get that now we're in a different business element here where you're gonna wait until SummerSlam and stuff like that to have the bigger,
Yeah.
match cards and stuff like that. So we just gotta deal with what we get. And what we got was decent. So I'm not upset about it.
Yeah. No, it was a good pay-per-view, especially again, Backlash is considered one of those B tier pay-per-views. It's not supposed to be all the stars and all the matches of the night and this and that and the other thing, but overall it was still a really good pay-per-view. I was very entertained. One of the only other weird things that I kind of just remembered about Backlash felt like a really early start for an American show. You know what I mean? Like I think it started at 5 o'clock. And I don't know, like just for me, like I'm not used to pay-per-views ending at 8 o'clock Central Time. You know what I mean? Like I'm used to them going 9, 10 o'clock. Like, I want the late nights watching wrestling back. I don't need to be sitting on the couch at 4 in the afternoon. You know what I mean?
Last thing we forgot to mention, what about John Cena and the
Mm,
home?
you're right. You're right. I did not have that in my notes. The John Cena announcement, the history making announcement that he's going to start his own tournament, basically. It's going to be the stars of today versus the stars of the future, kind of like his Saturday night's main event was. There's a lot of details going around about like a voting system and how the title's going to be given and all this different thing. But I really like the idea of it. I mean, I love it. We talked about it. Nick actually brought up the clip of me talking about it like a month ago now.
And I think yeah, and I think another thing you talked about too, that like, they came up a little bit on the Evolution pay-per-view. They came up a little bit on that one Saturday night's main event. I think like if WWE were able to find a way to just dedicate one pay-per-view every year to being like, okay, here's Randy Orton versus Ethan Page. You know what I mean? Like here's Cody Rhodes. I mean, Cody Rhodes versus Oba was great. You know what I mean? Obviously Oba's on the main roster now, but like if we can get more stuff like that, or like you said, even just bringing them onto Raw and SmackDown more, like we've had all these open challenges with the US belt. We're having Penta doing the open challenges with the IC belt. Like we know these guys are probably going to win anyways. They've been doing it against, with AAA guys on SmackDown. They've been doing it with all these, like, those are spots where they should definitely be using NXT guys more to get more of the, face value with the standard WWE crowd that is only watching Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, I agree.
But I was saying for a while, they need to get the NXT talent on the main shows more often just to get them the exposure, to get the fans to see their face, to get used to them, to see their matches because a lot of these guys and women on NXT like could be up on the main roster. There's just not enough space for them. And a lot of them are really good. And if they're going to get into the ring with some of the best of today, like the Cody Rhodes, like the Obafemis, I mean, these are going to be really good matches, and it's going to be putting these guys on the radar. And hopefully it brings more eyes to the NXT product.
100%. I'm all for it. A new belt is always a good thing, giving somebody a different belt. I want the 24/7 belt back, honestly.
Yeah,
I love the segments backstage of just like Rob Gronkowski's just winning the belt and running away, and R-Truth just getting it on a plane and getting pinned on a plane. Bring that back
yeah,
too, man. Like I'm all for more belts. Everyone talking about, oh, it ruins the product. Vince McMahon would never. Vince McMahon's not here. I had to ever give 10 more belts. I don't care. It just anything
right.
to make Raw and SmackDown more entertaining, because I don't care what anybody says. Even if you're the biggest diehard wrestling fan, Raw and SmackDown have not been that entertaining because a lot of the belts and a lot of the important things haven't even been matches. I think Nick said that there hasn't been a match as the main event of Raw since the Elimination Chamber or something like
Yep.
that. Are you kidding me?
Raw has
Like,
not
come
been
on,
main
man,
evented
what's
by
going
an
on?
actual match since Elimination Chamber.
Ridiculous, just ridiculous. So yeah, I'm all for another belt and something extra. I think WWE needs to do more of that. That's what
I
everyone
agree.
wants: more entertainment, more wrestling, more whatever you want to give us more of. We'll take it.
Hell, and give it to us on our own like show. Don't just put it on like a Saturday night's main event or have a couple
Right.
matches on this Raw and that SmackDown. Like, give us a whole John Cena show every Tuesday night. You know what I mean? Like, give us another night of wrestling because people are gonna tune in, people are gonna watch. It would be very entertaining.
We'll take
But
whatever for sure.
any other notes on Backlash? Anything to hit on?
I rate it 7.5 out of 10, which for me is very good.
Yeah. I mean, I was right there. I think I'm just a point higher than you. I'd say like an 8, 8.5 probably. Like I was entertained by every single match, whether it be from the wrestling or from the entertainment aspect. I think the show as a whole was really good. I think they told good stories. I think it was a good pay-per-view. Like PLE, whatever.
Yeah,
But
agree.
we were talking about Raw a little bit before. I do just have a couple of things from the Raw right after Backlash that we need to hit on before we head on out of here for the night. The IC title picture is really heating up once again on Raw. Obviously, we have Penta as the champion. He is now announced to be facing Ethan Page at Saturday night's main event. I know Glenn's really excited for that, as am I. But we do still have Javon Evans. We do still have Rusev all around this title picture. How are we feeling about it? What are we thinking?
Well, first of all, his name is Iton Page, according to and man, if you guys don't follow NXT, if you guys don't know who Ethan Page is, stud.
Yeah,
From mic skills, ring skills, the look, everything about the dude is just, I won't say Miz 2.0, but like close. Where it's
yeah.
just like he can talk the game, get in there, good theme song, just great. A great like character in this business, and I'm glad he came up from NXT. And right away, he's in the Intercontinental title picture, which is exactly where he needs to be. Him versus Penta is gonna feed families. I
Yeah.
mean, and then again, Evans is eventually gonna get in there, and then Rusev, he's been hanging around. He's, it's
He's the
might
muscle
not
of the
be
picture.
he might not be the person that you're gonna buy tickets to see, but you're not mad when he's on the. It's like, okay, Rusev.
Yeah.
I remember this dude. Rusev Day. You remember the good times of Rusev, and he's still pretty good in that ring, no matter
Yeah.
who it is. So,
Yep.
I'm. This is. If we get Evans versus Penta, or if we get Penta versus Ethan Page, I feel like you're gonna have to give Ethan Page the belt to face Evans, because Evans versus Penta is two face versus face, and I know they don't care about that anymore apparently, but I'm
And
excited
they've
for the Intercontinental picture for sure. It's been great.
Yeah, I mean, I hope, we've got a long time kind of until then. At the same time, not really, but I hope this just leads into some crazy ladder match at SummerSlam. I know they just did it at WrestleMania, but
Oh,
like
we'll take it again.
it's Penta, especially if Penta's still the champion. Like let's run it back. Let's do it again. Put Javon, put Ethan Page, put Rusev. Ray Phoenix called out Penta on social media. He said, "I
And
know he's
maybe
my
give them
brother,
their
but I'm
entrances this
next."
time. Because at WrestleMania
Yes.
they didn't have their entrances. They were just in the ring. We didn't get to see the cool like,
Yeah.
come on, man. You gotta fix that for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Well, especially when there's so many fan favorites like that were in that match. But after the IC title picture being all squared away, obviously we talked about Iyo a little bit. Really quick, AAA stories continue to just be ruined on WWE programming, basically. They continue to tell just the complete opposite. The OG El Grande Americano is the face, and the other El Grande Americano is the heel. But in Mexico, it's the complete opposite because the new El Grande Americano might get bigger pops than Rey Mysterio in Mexico. Like, it's crazy. I just needed to touch on that because WWE just, I want to see the product on WWE television. I want to see it on Raw and SmackDown so that I'm reminded to go watch AAA on Saturdays. But tell the right story. You have The Undertaker and AAA writing these stories. Call them up and be like, hey, how do we do this? We're using your guys. Like, how do you want us to do this? Because the way WWE is doing it on Raw and SmackDown is just, it's so bad. Like, actually watching the AAA product and then having to watch them on Raw and have it be ass backwards is just, it's not right.
Just with Triple Mania right around the corner, we're gonna get a lot of AAA stuff coming, and it's gonna be good. It always is. Thankful that WWE bought AAA to let us be reminded that it exists,
Yeah,
because
because it's a
these
good
luchas go
product.
hard, man. The luchas down there go hard, like, and the crowds are great. The crowds are
Yep.
great. It just this doesn't
And we
hurt
do got
nothing.
to add in,
I see all the comments talking about, oh, we're tired of, like, it's a inferior. What are you talking about? Like, there's
yeah,
nothing wrong with it at all. There's no downside to any
no.
of it. I don't understand the complaint. Why does the IWC cry about everything? Cry about the things that you need to cry about, like
Mm.
short matches and bad storylines, but
And
not
too many ads.
entering something else that's really good into the ring. Well, that's crazy to me.
100%. And the only other thing, obviously, it's already been hit on by a lot of social media outlets and whatnot, but the AAA Mega Campeon was the first title to be defended on both AEW programming and WWE programming, official WWE programming, Raw or SmackDown. Obviously, it had been defended on AAA and whatnot, but it's pretty cool. It's a long shot from them ever connecting, but it's pretty cool that there's been a title now that's on two rival companies like that. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about from Raw is the Obafemi Open Challenge. You and I are both huge Obafemi fans, as are most people, I'd say. But this is really the first week now, and I think you felt it a little bit last week when it was Alpha Academy that came out. But this was the really the first week to me where I was truly disappointed to actually see Obafemi even on my screen. Having him come out after only one open challenge, and they're already like, "Oh, sorry, nobody wants to do this anymore. Too bad, boo-hoo." And then he walks to the back and he grabs a very entertaining tag team, might I add, from SmackDown. That's just for some reason sitting in Gorilla at Raw. Carries slash drags them to the ring, does the greatest hits. 1, 2, 3, it's over. But at no point was I like really entertained. At no point was I really like, oh damn, yeah, that Oba guy, he's so strong. Angel and Berto are a quarter of his size. You know what I mean? Like even in the handicap situation, it doesn't look great. They need to find somebody to come in and really build a story with him, build a promo with, build a program that leads to a clash in Italy, that leads to a SummerSlam down the line. Oba needs that star treatment, and these two Raws so far have not been giving him that.
Yeah, it was a terrible segment, but I'm gonna give a little bit of leeway to TKO and WWE. What do you do? Like,
Yeah,
there's nobody, and I mean nobody, that's gonna come in the ring to fight Oba, and you're gonna be like, this is a challenge. Not
yeah,
That's not already in a storyline, and not that's currently on the roster or healthy. I don't know what you do. I really,
yeah.
like, we could give suggestions or we could say things, but like, I don't think there's a single name we can give that is available that can actually do something right now. So this is
Yeah.
what, Goldberg during his insane run was fed a lot of scrubs to
Yeah.
start. And this is kind of the way. This is, believe
Yeah.
it or not, this is the way that they have to go,
It'll
unfortunately.
work.
By the way, I think Garza, they're gone. I think they're part of
Yeah.
the pay cuts, stuff like that too. So
This might
this is
have
the
just
way
been
they
them
went
getting
out.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. So it did a double whammy,
Yeah.
and maybe the next time we see something better. I don't. That's
Yeah.
why I was saying about Otis. I was like, I think Otis might have been the possible best option backstage, because there's
Because
not
he's a
much else
big
he can
guy.
do right now. So
Yeah.
no, we'll see what happens. This is every week now. We're just gonna see if so. This is why I don't think Brock Lesnar retired, because I don't. There's no one else. There's
Yeah.
no one. It has to be Lesnar. It has to be Lesnar and him losing again in order to actually build Oba. Because these young guys, I was saying, but these, like, the Otises and the, even have a handy. Even if 4 people come next week, it's just not. It's not gonna do what a
It's gonna be
Lesnar is
all
gonna
the
do or anything like
LWO that's
that.
still there.
Yeah. So but I am always happy to see Oba on the TV. Just
Yeah.
seeing the strut, crowd still goes crazy. I'm always happy to see Oba, whether he fights or doesn't fight, whatever. Just
Yeah.
keep feeding us Oba until SummerSlam, and hopefully he has something crazy for SummerSlam.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, obviously we're late enough into the podcast. Nobody, whatever. Nick and I will be at at SummerSlam. So make sure if you're going to SummerSlam, find us there, catch us there, answer our questions. We're going to be asking people questions. We're going to be getting all the content at SummerSlam. But anything else? SmackDown, Backlash, Raw, the World, your Knicks, your Mets, anything you want to talk about before we close on out of here?
Mets suck, but they won 2 in a row, and the Knicks are going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Hopefully we
Heck
get,
yeah.
Pistons or Cavs. We don't know yet. Don't really care who it is. I think we going to the chip, baby.
Heck yeah. Man, I'll close it out on this. I am not very much of a religious person by any means or anything like that, but I feel like a very lucky person today. All this stuff going on with my face could have been a lot worse. I'll just kind of leave it at that. But very happy that I'm still here to talk with my friend Glenn about some WWE wrestling. So if that's
You are very
all
lucky.
for tonight, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, commenting, comment whatever the hell you want. Let us know what your favorite sports teams are. Let us know who your favorite wrestler is. Let us know what your favorite match was from Backlash. Let us know what match you're most looking forward to coming up at Saturday night's main event or Clash in Italy. It doesn't matter to me. We just want to hear your thoughts down in the comment section, whether you're on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. It doesn't matter. Make sure to follow us everywhere. Triple Threat Analysis. That'll be it for tonight, guys. Have a good one. Peace.
Somebody said stop using the belt. It's a kid's belt. Well, guess what? I still got the kid's belt, boy.